Oh,
Is it going?
yeah, I think so.
Are we
Yeah,
on?
I think we're on.
We're on. Hi.
Hi,
Happy Thursday.
everyone.
Happy tea party.
I feel extra squinty today. Like maybe it's the sun. It's finally slightly out.
Well, I feel extra fuzzy, so maybe it's St. Louis humidity
Yeah.
that is out. Anyway, whatever.
Yes.
You look beautiful.
Well, thanks. So do you.
Thank you.
So, so that.
What a segue.
Look at that. Look at that. So we decided that we were going to talk about today how sometimes you're just in general, people are not good about accepting compliments. A lot of times, especially females, are good about complimenting other people, or saying to someone like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes, or I love your shirt, or I love your hair, or I love your smile, whatever the case is. And a lot of times we're just not that great about taking that in and appreciating the fact that yes, maybe you do have a great smile and people recognize that, or that shirt that you're wearing, yes, you haven't worn it for 5 years and it was at the bottom of your drawer and you just had nothing else clean and you threw it on, and then someone says something like, oh my gosh, I love that shirt, and you're like, oh my god, this whole thing, and so we just kind of talked about how it's really difficult to take those compliments and someone acknowledging your greatness.
And oftentimes I feel it can be even more difficult to give compliments that are not based on image.
Yes.
And I feel like there's people are taken aback sometimes whenever you do give those compliments. And how often do we give those to our kids?
Right.
We say things, at least I try to, I really like how you did that. You're creative. I like the way you thought that out. Any of those things. You're really good at this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking about that afterwards, where I was like, generally speaking, we give compliments that are image driven because it's the easiest thing to see.
Yes.
But if you really take the time to get to know a person, you know deeper levels of them.
Yes.
And I hope you don't mind me saying this, but like when we were talking yesterday, we had some tears over this because ultimately your ability to receive that is directly tied to your sense of solidness and self-worth and what you honestly believe about yourself. And that can
be hard.
That is hard.
I mean,
it is hard.
Yeah.
Because we're so prone to say what we're not.
Yeah.
And it takes work, and it takes a repatterning to say I am. And the power that drives that is much more effective than, oh, no, I'm not.
Right. Absolutely.
And being able to accept that.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I know we've talked about this on previous times where, some of the things that we will say to others, like we'll compliment and encourage and all this stuff to other people, but when it comes to encouraging ourselves, or some of the things that we, like, oh, I'm not good at this, or I'm, no, I'm not that productive, or whatever the case, things you would never say to another person.
Right.
And some of the things that we do speak to ourselves, we don't give ourselves the acknowledgement on something that's great.
Or the time. The time to really sit and celebrate it.
Right.
I know I talk a lot about my therapist and my therapy in here, but that was a very, I don't even want to say eye-opening. It was a heart-shattering experience to have somebody consistently sit with me and say, nope, go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath, go inside, and just celebrate that for a moment. And I so quickly wanted to bypass it all.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes I don't believe that, you know, the adults, the teachers, the guides, our parents, our family, whoever, necessarily mean have malicious intent whenever they tell us as kids, oh, aren't you big for your britches? Who do you think you are?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's all of
Right.
these things. So when we're little, I mean, we are self-centered.
Yeah.
And as we should be, you know,
Right.
we're learning how to take care of ourselves and operate in this world of wild, wacky, big people. But we pile that on,
Mm-hmm.
and then all that stuff takes a long time to chisel away.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes those compliments that somebody gives you, you know, it either hits the hardest spot or the most tender spot in you, and you don't always know how to respond.
Right.
And I just think that in being able to receive that, you have, the only way you can fully receive it is to fully give it to. You know, because there are some people who are boastful, and you know, I know I've had times where I was like, whoa, you know, they're really
Right.
full of themselves, and they should be.
Right.
They should be. I mean, I think that there's a line,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a, you know, there's a tolerance to that, but
yeah.
but
Also to not compliment someone with the expectation of getting a return compliment.
right,
Like, don't just tell someone, oh, you know, you look pretty today, and expect, like, okay, now tell me, tell me that I'm pretty, you know, or whatever the case is. You know, you need to give a compliment from the heart,
yes,
and make it genuine.
yes, and you can't replace that. Like,
Right.
you can't teach that. You can't, you know, you just have to feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the only way to really feel it and to really, really be able to give a true compliment is to know that, you know, you're on the receptive side of that too.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to receive it is knowing how to really, truly give it. And
Yeah, no, I agree.
I can't elaborate on that right now, but that's just my belief in it, and just the fullness of it,
Mm-hmm.
as with anything. So,
Yeah.
But
So I think that was just kind of our thought
mhm,
and messaging and the things that, you know, we're just kind of coming about with our daily lives, that kind of wanted to put that out there, that learn to, you know, try to work on receiving those compliments when someone says something like, you are great at your job, or you are a great person, or you're super friendly, or, you know, whatever someone feels that they want to tell you, take that in
mhm,
and absorb it and appreciate the fact that you are worthy of those compliments.
worthy, period.
Mm-hmm.
Worthy, period. All of us are.
Yeah.
And I think too that sometimes, there can be such cattiness in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and that instead of complimenting, sometimes sometimes any of us can go in with a judgment first, or
Mhm.
clause, and look for silver linings. Don't look for what's wrong. Look for silver linings. And if there is something that you're jealous or envious of in some other person, sit with that with yourself. Like, what does that
Mhm.
mean for you?
Right.
What would you like to receive from that, from seeing that in someone else?
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to really be able to fully receive that is to reckon with it within you.
Right.
And the more that you can be okay with that in you, the more it doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
more it doesn't matter what anybody else has, how anybody else looks, what anybody else is
Right.
wearing and driving and all that other good stuff. So anyway, I just think silver linings.
Yes.
Compliments are always silver linings, and sometimes we can't ourselves see how we shine to other people, and we need that.
I
We
agree.
need that. So, inside and out. I
Yes.
think you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So I think that's all we have for today.
It is.
Okay.
Sit with that.
Yes.
Think on that.
Yes.
And thanks for all you wonderful people that always compliment us and inspire us and always are driving us
Yes.
to keep growing and
Mhm.
reaching and being brave enough to just get these hard sprinkles and thoughts out there.
Yeah.
Like, it's because we're human. Like, we're fretting over this.
I know.
If we're honest.
Yes.
Anyway,
Ugh.
whatever. But it comes from the heart. So, compliment it or not, it's what's real.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
be who you are. Anyway,
Spread the love. Spread the kindness.
yes. My gosh. When everything
Mhm.
else feels uncertain and out of control, what you can continue is to be in loving kindness to
Mhm.
yourself and to all of those around you.
Yep.
Anyway. All right.
There we
We
are.
getting on with our day?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Do we even
I
clink?
don't know. We didn't clink.
No. here we
Whatever.
go. All right.
Y'all are wonderful.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us on this ride.
Enjoy your Thursday, and we will see you back next week.
Have a great week.
All right.
Be well, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.